The Angels 2014. The Angels, world champions. Oh, and first pitch crushing.
Hey, welcome into another episode of Halos in the Infield, the podcast version with your host, Todd Fox, and welcoming back the ever so beautiful.
Hi, what is up, you pieces of trash? It's Courtney.
What is up, Courtney? And then we have somebody else who's filling in, who does the pregame shows. His name is
James Gonzalez, and I'm happy to be here tonight.
Jesus.
yeah, he came with it hard right there. He's all James Gonzalez.
Right.
That's not how enthusiastic you were before we started this, but that's for another story.
I was trying to
to bring it in.
Exactly. So let's get this show started real quick. Before I do, though, please leave a 5-star rating on our podcast version, or like and subscribe to the YouTube page. It helps us out with the algorithms and everything. Comment and leave something smart, funny, sassy, and with your handle, whatever social media you're on, and we'll throw you back something cool as a thank you. So with that being said, how's everyone doing? What are we feeling about the Angels so far after they come off this series 4-game set with Texas? Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know how to feel. I feel like one is the Rangers. This is a series that should have already been granted and guaranteed that we would have won. I'm still alarmed at the fact that we had a walk-off versus Miami, but that's a whole other story. But I mean, this is to be expected of the Angels. We should have taken this series anyway. Now Mike Trout is on a day-to-day basis. That's lovely. For those of you, he got hit by a pitch today, got taken out in the 5th, I believe.
Yeah.
That was great. So now we have to watch that. I do like what I see sometimes when it comes to our aggressive base running. I think some of our guys, Ward, Wade, and Velasquez, very aggressive on the base paths, but just slow your roll. We pay you to get on first base, not to get thrown out at second. So that'd be great. Why don't we just calm that down a little bit? But I mean, other than that, I think this series was good to just get our sticks alive. That's really all that we needed, and just to have a more consistent lineup. And what's with these random off days? We just started. Why do we keep handing out days off like it's candy? Like, just don't do it. Like, we need to get our guys in. Like, I don't know if it's like a spring training thing, because like we only had the 2 weeks of spring training. We're still trying to test guys out. But at this point in time, I think just have your solid 9 or 10 and leave it at that. And let's just keep it pushing.
I like that take so far. What about you, James?
Started out well, with the Miami series. We were there, of course, on Monday, and it felt great. Tuesday, of course, listening to the game, I was like, man, why are we having so much trouble trying to win this game? Winning 4-3 like that in 10, obviously that felt good in an off day. And then Thursday came, it was like, oh yeah, I remember how this feels. And I remember the post game was just a bash of anyone and everyone. Mm-hmm. And it felt like old times again. And it felt like the month of August, honestly, where everybody's just piling on knowing the season's over. And then you have Friday and Saturday, which was, awesome. Sunday comes and you're feeling confident. And then in that 5th inning, Mike Trout, instead of turning back, he turns into the pitch.
Yeah.
Granted, it was 81 miles per hour slider. He turns into it and it hits him flesh, from what I heard Mark Langston say. So I'm nervous about that. He's day to day, and aren't we all? Got the series coming with Houston 3 games. They lost their closer Presley for 10 days, and I'm just wondering how that goes. But I'm still kind of nervous about the season. Always have been, always will be. Nothing's ever easy for this ball club. We all know that.
Yeah, it's going to take, since we've had a playoff run since 2014, it's going to take a good while before we get confidence fully. You know, everything's got to be different. Everything's got to change. We've seen a lot of change in the off season. Courtney brought up, and James brought up some good points. And to Courtney's point, as far as the team, like not being too consistent, hitting the ball, being maybe a little aggressive on the bags, not keeping the same lineup, having days off early. Some teams are going to play with that until, I guess, and we'll see how that works. Like if it's too much of a good thing, or if it's being really precautionary and it'll pay off for the guys in August and September. Because I've seen some other teams that are just playing their starting nine every day. Their only off day is if they have an off day. So we're not doing that. You know, we're experimenting every day. We've all said it on either show, even on the podcast. We hate the 1-2 with Ohtani and Trout. And look, it worked in these first, the last 3 games of Texas, but it hadn't worked up until then. And now a big show me series is with Houston. And again, is the 1-2 going to be the part that hurts the lineup? Because the last few games we've seen the lineup come around, but like you both said, it's Texas. They're Tex ass. They've been this way for a while. They're still another year or 2 away. We should be miles ahead of them. And we played toe-to-toe with them for most of the series. So that's the disconcerting thing, especially that, like you guys mentioned, that 10-5 loss on the opening game of the series where, the game just got away from Ohtani and he picked up his second L. So that wasn't good, right? And thoughts on that first game? We'll touch on each of these games briefly. So you want to go first, and Courtney, what you thought about that 10-5 loss with Ohtani?
Trash. It's I think just having Ohtani start, granted Ohtani wasn't throwing his best in the first place, but I really think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there's no lineup protection either.
Yep.
Our sticks somehow never come alive when Ohtani is throwing. And it's very disheartening. And I think that even happened, in the Houston game too, for opening day.
Yep.
Because that actually wasn't even a great loss either. I think that was barely even a loss at all.
3-1. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's something that we can come back from, but our lineup and our sticks just go cold all of a sudden. To me personally, it feels like when Ohtani throws, like when he's throwing and hitting, the team expects him to carry the team on his back, like the one-man wonder that he is. And it's just like, no, like you can't do that. Like you need that run support, you need the lineup protection, you need all of that, especially when Ohtani is throwing. Like, of course, we need it when everybody's throwing, but especially when Ohtani is throwing. Like, don't do him like that. I didn't watch the first game completely. I was practicing with my little ones, but yeah, I think that's just one thing that I've noticed, not only from this season already, but in last season too. Whenever Ohtani is throwing, it seems like Ohtani always has a greater loss record. Like I'm not too sure what his record was last season, but it seems like he picks up a lot of L's solely because of no lineup protection and run protection for him.
Well, he definitely got a lot of no decisions last year. I think he only dropped 2, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe
9-2.
Yeah, 9-2. But he could have gotten something close to like 18 wins last year, maybe 19. But he got a lot of no decisions because, like you said, the run support was not there. So go ahead I was going to call you Fernando. Go ahead, James, and give me your thoughts on that first game.
Yeah, with Ohtani giving up 6, you were kind of behind from the start there. He only went 3 2/3. He did strike out 5. Not much from the offensive standpoint. Trout homered. He hit that 472 bomb to center field. Stassi hit a home run, but that was pretty much it. They were just lucky to get 5, 3 later in the game, but it just didn't do much. And again, like I mentioned, it felt like old times with divisional opponents where you just know, okay, I just hope to split the series, honestly. I do not want to get swept or 3 out of 4. Instead, I want 3 out of 4. Instead, I want a sweep. And
Mhm.
that feeling after that game and the post game show was just all of everything bad: hate, anger, aggression. Like, oh, this is happening again, and it's earlier in the season. It's not, mid June or July when things start to crumble. It's happening right away, and that's how I felt after that game. And Dunning, the starter for Texas, he was giving up runs, but I wish he was still in the game long enough to beat him up even more. Then maybe the Angels would have had more of a chance. But losing 10-5 on that Thursday, it just hurt, honestly.
Yeah, in that game, I noticed the Rangers, Dunning, he switched up his mentality, the way he pitched. He went with realizing the strike zone was low and down. He kept his pitches down, and I think that's what turned the tide for him. He didn't pick up the win, I don't think, because he didn't go long enough, but he had thrown enough pitches to stabilize the game. Ohtani didn't, and he got himself yanked. And I think pressure, going back to what Courtney said, when he pitches, was always on Ohtani to do everything. But I think it's worse this year because they're batting him leadoff. Like, dude can't even get to the dugout and rest. He's got to go right back out there. Like, for me, I would put him fourth, so that at worst you're on the on deck circle, and it's in the bottom of the first. You have plenty of time. A couple batters are in ahead of you, plus the other guy it's going to bat third, and it gives you time to relax, take a look at the pitcher, get your mindset switched over from a pitcher to a hitter. But they don't do it that way. Joe Madden's smoking that good, and he just wants them leading off right away. So yeah, that game was tough to watch, because you don't want to start on the road already 0-1 and to a team that, again, frankly, they should be better. So moving on to game 2, this was a game that was extremely frustrating. This was a hindsight being 2020 or whatever it is, a hindsight game. Angels win this one 9-6, but it's how they won it and the unbelievable call in the game. Who wants to take a crack at this one first?
Is that the one where we intentionally walked Corey Seager?
Exactly.
I think Mike Trout's face said it all.
Yeah.
When they panned to him. I don't know. Especially after game 1 of that series, I don't know. It seemed like everybody was hot in that Rangers lineup.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as people want to DFA Madden and say like, oh, we shouldn't have done that. I honestly don't know. I feel 50-50 about it. Like,
oh, okay.
I don't think it was the complete worst decision ever. I genuinely don't know. And especially with Corey Seager, because it's not like Corey Seager isn't a player that we haven't faced before. Like, obviously he knows Angels pitching because of Freeway Series in years past. So I don't know. I think overall the decision came with good intentions, and thankfully we did come out with that win, because I know if we didn't, and if we did lose, there would probably be other reasons why we would have lost, but people would blame Madden solely because of that one move. Like, it's because we walked Seager. And it's like, no, there was 50 other things wrong with the game too. Like, calm down. But I don't know. I'm 50-50 about it. I don't think it was the completely wrong move.
Okay. Let's get your take, James.
For me, you want to do everything by the book. You don't want to just give runs. You want them to earn every damn run. And Mark Langston, on the call, when I was listening at work, I was heated because I'm thinking, that's not winning baseball. That's not something you do professionally and get away with it, especially if you lose. And I think Langston tried to put it as delicate as he could, because they have to be kind of homer to the Angels.
Yep.
You kind of cater to Artie and you don't say anything negative as much as possible. But him being a pitcher himself, he had to say, well, that kind of disgusts me, and you make him earn every run. And that's the way I felt about it. I felt angered about it, honestly. And I think more of that had to do with the loss on Thursday to say, hey, the way you lost 10-5 and you're just giving up a run. And unfortunately, I think they got out of that with just that run or 3, I can't recall, but
I think he had a single after whoever was after Seager.
Right.
Seager single.
And I think it was in the second inning, if I recall. Again, I was just really mad about it. And I know it's been done before. I think Joe Madden did it back in 2008 against Josh Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
And then they ended up getting the win in that. And I think the previous 5 times that somebody did it, it was the Diamondbacks to Barry Bonds, I think. And they ended up winning that game back in 98 or 99. So I guess if you want to, say it was a good move, you could do it. But, I'm more hating it. And especially if they lost, it's almost like a fireable offense to me, or something you'll remember forever if you remember Joe Madden's tenure.
His legacy.
Yeah. What legacy here? It was painful to hear, honestly. And then you see the confusion with Mike Trout. You see Corey Seager looking like, oh, okay, and he just throws the bat away. Like, okay, I'll just go for it. Yeah, you want them to earn every run like Mark Langston said. So I thought it was bogus, honestly.
So that's better to just have the 1 run than to potentially give up 2 or 3.
That
or
was
grand slam.
Yeah, that was his thinking, because Corey Seager does hit fastballs. In that position, it was Austin Warren who throws primarily fastballs. And Seager's usually tore up Angel pitching. But we've seen a bunch of guys who've torn up Angels pitching, and they still pitch to him with the bases loaded. Matt Olson, we've pitched to him many a times with the bases loaded. He either hits grand slams or doubles or triples. And this isn't Barry Bonds. So, like, when I saw that, I immediately went online and live, which I wound up taking it down after because, as fast as I was doing the live, because Warren balked in the next run, and then there was a sacrifice. So 3 runs scored anyway.
Yeah.
And so, like, I was ripping Joe, and it was trending on Twitter, Fire Joe Madden. And then all of a sudden it's a home run by Suzuki, then 2-run homer by Ohtani. Before I could finish my live, the Angels had just tied it. So I mean, you want to just grab Madden and shake him, like, and be like, "What are you thinking?" And then all of a sudden, like, because he's like, "Oh, I did this to motivate my team." I think that is the stupidest thing ever to say. I don't think he intentionally did that, but whatever, it worked, unfortunately, because hindsight being what it is, it's like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to feel. Like, at one moment, like I said, I want to shake him, and then the other be like, boy, that was ballsy as hell,
I think that's the thing. And it's not only for you, Todd, and I think all of us as Angel fans. And I think we've been saying that ever since we've had Madden. He's known to be the madman. He's thinking outside the box, or bring back 1980s baseball, whatever the fuck it is, whatever it is. And when he sits there and he does these crazy things, which is probably the one reason why we hired him, all of a sudden the Angels fan base, us included, all of a sudden we're in an uproar and say, "Fire Joe Madden, Grill Master." So it's, what do you want as a fan? What do you want? And how can you keep getting mad at this manager? Like, that's what I don't believe it was necessarily the wrong call. Like, maybe potentially a different one. I'm not too sure. But when I look in the hindsight of it, and statistically speaking, I would have much rather given up that 1 run than potentially 2, 3, or 4. So I can't say that he was wrong, and I might have done the same thing if I was in a management position.
Okay, what if they would have lost that game? Because I mean, that was a crazy comeback. I didn't expect them. First off, I didn't expect them to come back in the rest of the game, but they came back like the next half inning. Like, the Rangers weren't even able to relax. I mean,
if we lost, then we fucking lost. If we lost, either way, you need to hit and score runs to win. It doesn't matter. Like, either way, it doesn't matter if the score is 0-0. It doesn't matter if the score is 10-10. Either way, you need to swing the bat and score runs. So, which is something that we lack most of the time. And I mean, If we lost, then we lost. And I'll take that as a manager, you know what, be like, hey, I thought this was the best call because this was going to be the less amount of runs versus, you know,
The alternative.
versus what could have potentially happened. So meh.
Okay.
It was crazy after that fourth inning that Texas had. The Angels came back and had 5 and then had 2 in the 7th. They hit 5 home runs too by Otani. So it was good to see the power at least come back there. 1 double, but when you see Adele hitting and then Suzuki hitting his 1 a month and Walsh hitting his home run, that felt a little better. But still, the pride factor for me is like, hey, make them earn every damn run. You know,
I get you.
Don't be a loser like that. It
I
could
feel
be
like that's a man
strategy.
thing to say.
Or no, I mean, and part of me thinks it's a analytical move. Like Joe was told, hey, you know, we're gonna do things if certain guys hurt us with bases loaded, walk them.
A man thing.
Yeah, partly, but yeah.
It's a male machismo thing. You need to earn this run. Fuck off. Shut up. Shut up.
I
mean, that's what Mark Langston said. I'm gonna go by his judgment.
Yeah, Mark was like, "Listen, I grabbed my crotch before I'm gonna give up a run right here. You're gonna earn it." So I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's what these. I guess I see both your guys' point. It's hard to give up a run because it is an ego thing, and then it also is a machismo thing. You're not gonna. It's hard for us guys to concede about anything. So, and especially in a man sport, that's even harder. So, yeah.
While we're on the subject, hold on, wait. Now that I'm here,
Okay.
I need to talk about one thing. And this is completely off topic. It is nothing Angel related.
Okay.
San Francisco Giants.
Oh,
They're a female coach.
Yes.
Love it that the fact that she was finally on the field after I think 2 seasons. Love that for her.
Yeah.
Why did they wait to do it when they were winning 10-0?
Because their third base coach got ejected.
I don't care. That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you wait to do it? She's already been on the staff and been on the roster for this team for I think 2, maybe even 3 seasons already.
Yeah, we saw her in spring training last year.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Why did you wait this long?
As I've said, Courtney, I'm clamoring for more women in Major League wherever they want to be. You know, one day I want to see a manager. One day I would love to see that. So I'm down for more of that.
Well, here's my thing. The disrespect I saw on I forget what sport was that or what page that was, but it was one of the big pages that puts their links up on Facebook, and they had a picture of her in her outfit and at first or third base, but in the background it was a strategically taken photo of the Coca-Cola bottle in the background, and she's standing sideways, and it looks like she has a huge Coca-Cola boner. Now tell me that was not purposely put on there. And it says in the headline, female coach makes her major league debut for the Giants. Coca-Cola bottle is all I saw. I'm telling you, that's all I saw.
I hate it here.
I didn't see that.
I hate it here.
I'm sorry.
You know, I hated their uniforms. That's the bad part.
I know they're wearing the City Connect ones again. Those ones suck.
That's the helmet that got sent to the Hall of Fame, and that really sucked.
Oh, the one she wore?
Yeah.
She should have wore the Giants one, yeah, the regular. Those are OG. So I'm with you, Courtney. I'm not being sexist at all. I'm just saying that was a terrible picture to put up there. I know that was intentional. But it's a milestone. It's a milestone. I think
it's a milestone nonetheless. But that's the whole point, though. It's just like it feels like that's the MLB's like little like sprinkle. Like here you go. Like there you go. She's been on the roster for this many years. That's okay. We'll finally put her out there now. Shut the women up. And it's just like, no, like you guys waited until it was already 10-0 in the 7th inning. Like, and she was only out there for, I think, 1 or 2 innings. Like, no, that's not what we want. That is not what me as a woman. I do not want that. And you think I'm dumb enough to fall for it? No, I see what you did, MLB. I'm coming for you.
It's all Manfred's fault. Believe
it is. I know it is. Fucking testicle with hair.
He's been called worse by his own players in his leagues, by the way. But One last thing on this game. Rasil got in. The bullpen did great after the blow up there by Detmers. I think one last thing I want to say about this game too. Matt Vasgersian, this entire series was calling things on a super delay. There and for whatever reason, whether it's contractually or the COVID thing still is affecting them. But that's terrible. I mean, it was like Walsh hit one. It was clearly fair by like a mile. And he's all, there's a long foul ball. And it's gone. How about that? He goes deep. I was like, come on, dude.
Trash.
Exactly.
Oh.
That entire weekend was horrible. Horrible announcing. I saw a base hit get past the second baseman, and Matty V's like, and the pitch. And the runner's already going from first to third. Hey, it gets by the second baseman. I'm like, wow, you're late.
It felt like, oh God, it's gonna sound racist coming out of my mouth, and I apologize. But Japanese TV, like when the mouths move and you hear the voice later, that's what it felt like. And I was just like, that's not good. I don't like that.
There was a time that Garcia, I think, stole third, and nobody realized it until they literally panned over, but it already happened on a still basically, and it was just like, the hell. I saw somebody. I think it was on Thursday's game, but I saw somebody go. I was like, oh, I think he's at third, but nobody realizes it. And I think it was Garcia as fast as he was. I saw it, but nobody else saw it. Nobody said it until after it happened, basically, like way after it happened. Oh, well, we have a stolen base here.
Yeah. And then their scoreboard was off the entire time. The outs weren't like all up to date. The runs weren't all up to date either, too. So terrible job by Bally's. But yeah. So that was game 2. That will move us on to game 3, where the Angels tried to take control of the series, or at least try to. And that would be a 7-2 victory. Thor would come in and pitch a great game in this one. It was only 3-2 for one inning, or for a couple innings, and the Angels added on a few runs late in the game, had 12 hits. Texas again made some blunders, and the Angels bullpen was really good, and easy victory for Thor. Thoughts on the game 3 victory against the Rangers?
I do have to say that when I was originally on the show, I know I was very hesitant about Thor when we signed. So I now have to eat my words.
It's just 2 games.
I'm glad that we have him. So it's okay. No, but I think mechanically and just like what he's been producing so far has been really good. And I think that was one of the things that I feared, was that he would actually fuck up by this time. So because I was actually at the Angels and Dodgers game when we first came home. So the spring training games technically. And I seen Thor pitch. Did a really good job there too. So I do have to say I like what I see from Thor. I think he's done really good, especially coming back from Tommy John. So I'm very excited for the rest of the season, at least when Thor pitches.
There you go. How's that humble pie taste?
Oh, trash.
James, thoughts?
Yeah, he had 2 quality starts so far, and I can always remember Steve Physiok saying quality start, and I think I haven't had a pitcher like that do this. I know it's only 2 starts, but it feels good to have someone you could rely on to go, 6 innings like he did, get some strikeouts, scatter a few hits, scatter a few runs, but give your team a chance to win, and that's all you really want. Bradley held it down very well. He had 3 strikeouts, and Ortega, who never throws a fastball, it's always changeups and sliders. He came in to do a good job as well. So those 2 come out of the bullpen have been pretty solid so far. You throw in Loop there as well, and it's all been going well. Tommy homered, and everybody was back on his train, and then Taylor Ward, coming back from injury, making his debut, also hit a home run. It's great to see him. And I think Courtney mentioned, you should have a set lineup. The Angels have a plethora of guys, who could play outfield, infield. It's
Mhm.
not such a bad thing, especially with Fletcher out, with the hip, 10 days, I believe. So it's a weird mix, but you either go with who's hot, I guess, or who's fresh, who needs a day off. So it's a good mix, but the tricky part is to uh, do the right move,
Mhm.
and that's what Joe has to contend with every game, sadly. But it's not a bad thing. It's not like we're putting out someone there that has to play every day. You've seen with the catchers, it's almost been like Stassi plays 2, Suzuki plays 1 game, then it's back to Stassi for 2, and you just don't really know what Joe's gonna do, honestly. But it was good to see Taylor Ward play, though. I was really excited to see him make a season debut.
Absolutely. And thoughts real quick, as we were hoping on the last podcast, the cowboy hat would be a thing. And it appears it's the Angels thing. And, we've seen shopping carts, I think in Boston or I think in Chicago. It's one of those cities. And then you have like the chain, in San Diego and the spinning chain or whatever. And you got all kind, some teams just have they do their thing. And the Angels have not had that. But now it seems like they do. But I'm hoping it's for Gene Autry, but they haven't come out and said that. So we don't know the behind the scenes about it. But the thoughts on them doing the celebration with a cowboy hat, do you think that's finally some chemistry in this ball club?
Good. It is so good. Let the kids play. Like, these are grown men. And I think even for me as a college softball player,
Mm-hmm.
I think it can get tiring and repetitive to just coming into the same old boring dugout. If you get a home run, like I wasn't a home run hitter at all. I think I only had 2 in my entire career that went over a fence. And, like we didn't have anything to do. So I think it just makes baseball fun. Like, kids will see it. I know my stepson, he loves Ohtani, which makes his dad so mad because Nick is a Dodger fan. I love it. But
Nick.
I know he hates it right now, but kids see that and they're just like, oh, the cowboy hat, or a shopping cart, like all these different things, and so it's not only for the players, but, like us as fans see it too. Little kids will see it, with hopes of like, oh, I'm going to be a big leaguer being pushed in a shopping cart one day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it just gives everybody like that nice little pizzazz and that nice little fun. So I'm glad that we finally have something. I hope we keep it. And, it looks like the guys have fun with it. They dance or run down the dugout with a hat on. I think it's great. I think it's awesome.
That's cool. And what about you, James?
Well, we got the Texas 2-step going. I think they'll bring it in Houston, but the question is, when they start the homestand against Baltimore and Cleveland, I hope that they continue to have it. And if they do, hey, maybe Friday you'll see me with a cowboy hat. Hopefully, I'll find a white one somewhere or a black one. Who knows? But I'll wear one, and hopefully it'll be a trend with, cowboy hats in the crowd. We'll see. But yeah, it's like Courtney said. I don't have to say much more than what she did. It's a thing that brings players together. It brings a staff along, and sometimes you need that, especially in the dog days of August or July. You need something to keep you going, and especially in a pennant race, it's going to feel even better to have something like that. So I guess I'm all for it. The hope that it's honoring Gene Autry, I'm kind of iffy about it. I still think it's just a Rendon thing, and the fact he comes from Texas and he just has a cowboy hat. It's like, hey, why don't you guys wear this every time somebody gets on a run? That's all I can think of, how it started or whatnot.
I just think it would be great because if it's an Autry thing, that's like a slap in Artie's face. You know what I mean? Because they're not like, well, what can we do to celebrate a home run in honor of Artie? Well, we can't have alcohol in the dugout, so there goes that. Let's go with a cowboy. I mean, that's all I could think of. But here's the hoping anyway. So Game 4 was today, and against the Rangers again. They're closing out that series, and the Angels got another W. So the Angels knocked off the Rangers to take the series that, when it first started, did not look good, but they got an 8-3 win My complaint in this game, I only had one because the lineup looked good from 1 to 9. Everyone was hitting, including Velasquez and Wade, which I liked a lot. My only complaint was, again, not giving the pitcher the opportunity to pitch out of a jam and to get that decision. So he pitched 4 1/3 and was lifted with very few pitches thrown. And Mike Myers just slid in there and stole that victory. But other than that, they won 8-3. So I guess there's that.
We won.
Yeah.
We took the series.
I'm nitpicking, okay? I'm nitpicking.
It's fine. No, it's fine. I mean, it does suck to have, the no decisions or like to have the decision go to like a different pitcher than our starter. So I do see where that can, be a problem or, just kind of be concerning. But I mean, overall, win is a win right now. And given the fact that how shitty we ended last season, I'm gonna, be happy with this win. And we won 3 in a row, Greg. 3 in a row. You know what that means? It's a streak.
Oh,
So, we haven't done that in a while. So let's just keep it going, hopefully.
I think 2 in a row was a streak last year for us.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're improving so much. And then Houston is going to come and crush our dreams.
Oh, I hope not. Because last year at this time we were 7-3. So now we're 6-4. So actually we're a game behind. But last year's schedule compared to ours and the talent compared to last year's is completely different. So we'll get into that. But James, what are your thoughts on today's finale against the Rangers?
It was unfortunate for Suarez. Again, giving up 5 hits and 3 earned runs, three strikeouts, 3 walks. This was a good confidence booster for Myers, though, to get the win. His ERA is blooming right now, 33.75.
Oh, wow.
And he was struggling out of the gate. And maybe this will make him feel a little better. Hey, you got the win. I know you only got 2 outs and you walked 1, but hey, you got the win. And then it was good to see Herjit come in and pitch 2 innings and Barrera come in and pitch 2 innings as well. And Herjit with 5 strikeouts, 5 out of the 6 strikeouts. That was awesome to see. He was also kind of struggling, especially in the beginning series there. And you have Trout with a double. Then you get some other clutch hits, Duffy and Mike Trout there. And I think the only blemish, of course, is the Mike Trout injury there where he turned in to the slider that came up and hit him flesh. I know everyone's taught to turn away, but for some reason, I'm trying to figure out. Maybe Courtney can help me out.
Take it like a man. I don't care where it hits you.
Yeah. Usually, okay, you go back. You don't.
Yes, normally you're supposed to turn the opposite way.
So that was again. He'll be day to day, and we'll see what happens.
Courtney, anything else on that one?
Take that shit like a man. Rub some dirt on it. God. I'm just kidding. I mean, out of all pitches that could have hit him, at least it was an 81 mile per hour slider and not like a 99 mile per hour fastball. So
true. So
the other exciting thing today, which I thought I would never see today, a good friend of ours, Andrew Heaney, got a win with the Dodgers.
You know what? That is disgusting me in the very first starts. Like, I swear to you, as much as Courtney, myself, James, and everyone on this page was ripped that guy for so many good reasons.
Wow.
He pitched a shutout in Minnesota, and then he pitched a shutout today too, with 11
3 walks and 11 strikeouts. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is a guy who had like a 40 ERA with the Yankees last year. He had like a 29 ERA in spring training this year. And I thought, oh man, I can't wait for him to get lit up. Look what he's doing.
I'm happy for this man.
No.
Everything the Dodgers touch turns to gold. I swear. It's like Turner, Taylor.
Yep.
All these guys coming from bad situations and
cast-offs.
It's just amazing. It's something I wish the Angels could do, whether it's scouting, it's coaching. I wish we
No,
had
we
that.
hurt people.
And
You
we
come
have
to us, we
Todd's
crush your dreams.
the batting coach, has nachos, or the hitting coach plays Pokemon or whatever it is. The Dodgers are out here doing their work and all that. It just makes it worse.
You come to the Angels when you want your hopes and dreams ruined.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you come here for an inflated paycheck, and then you could just be whatever you want to be, like
And then you
average.
can go to Disneyland when you're done.
Yeah, there's no accountability. It's like, oh, free tickets to Disneyland. Psh, I'll sign.
Yes. Probably.
Oh man, so that was the Texas series, and there's some pluses and minuses as we all brought out in this one. They get the win today and didn't have to go to Iglesias. The bullpen was solid, like James said, but we're now moving on to a Houston series, which to me is the show me series because Houston, they
Show
made
me
our. Well, I mean, show me as far as like how we can get some runs off this team because we're gonna face Valdez, who owns us, and I think we have a good chance against what is it in Game 3? It's Bertu. What is it? No, Odorizzi pitches, and then Game 1, I'm forgetting who's pitching for Houston, but we have
Luis Garcia.
Luis Garcia, who's pretty decent, but we have how it's set up is who leads? It's Otani, right? Otani, Sandoval, no Sorensen. I'm sorry,
Lorenzen.
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 Why do I want to call him
Who
Sorensen? I'm
is-
sorry.
What?
I don't know. He looks like a friend of mine in high school. I'm sorry. He was a good pitcher.
Jesus. Lorenzen with the Vans.
All right, Lorenzen.
Mhm.
Jesus.
We saw him Monday against Florida.
Miami. Yeah. So we have Lorenzen, and then we have Sandoval, and then it's Otani, right, for Game 3. I think so.
I think so.
Yeah. But the one I'm looking for in this series, forward to in this series, is Sandoval Valdez. It just depends on how Madden's going to let him, if he lets him go more than 4 innings. But dude, that's a really good lefty-lefty matchup. Thoughts on this series with Houston? Do you think this is being overblown as too big, or is it too early?
I think we need to keep calm, play some baseball, but we're going to drop this series 1 and 2.
Oh,
Because we're not going to get it together. We're not going to get it together. I think James has touched on this. We have a lot of options when it comes to outfielders, when it comes to infielders. We have a lot of utilities. I think for us, for some reason, this is a negative because it's too many options. There's too many things to play with. There's too many lineup positions. There's too many positions in the outfield that you can put people in. And I'm sorry, but Matt Duffy looks like someone's dad that they just pulled out from the stands and was like, hey, can you play baseball? Come here. Like, I'm not saying he's terrible. Obviously, I think he has one of the highest batting averages on our team right now.
that's what.
He looks awkward, but
Okay.
beside the point. There's too many options. There's
Okay.
too many options that we have. And I don't think all of our options are going to click well in this series and kind of like for the remainder of the month. Because we're still playing a lot. We're still playing about who can go where, what kind of lineup will work. I think we just need to get something set. And we're not going to do it this series. And it's going to wait till next month.
Okay, so then, in your opinion, then which game do we win out of the 3? Since you're calling 1 and 2.
I'm pulling for Sandy.
Sandy.
Sandoval.
Whoa. Okay. That's the most challenging game right there because Valdez, I don't know what it is, man, but that guy is just brutal against the Angels. You can't hit him. So I'm hoping you're right because I would like to put an L on his record. What you got, James?
I think I'm gonna go the same with Courtney. 1 out of 3. Sorry, Riley, Chris. I think they win the 3rd game with Otani shining, at least going 6. It's a earlier start too. The Angels have an off day the next day, and then they come home for the 7-game homestand. And then I don't think they have an off day until, I believe, May 14th. I'll have to check that out. So I think they're going to cherish Thursday coming up. At any rate, yeah, I think the pitching for Houston will be too good. But the hope is that they get to their bullpen. And again, without Ryan Presley for this series for Houston, you hope that the Angels could get to their starters, get to the bullpen. And with everybody out of place in that bullpen, hope to shake that up and get some late runs and, hopefully walk off with 2 out of 3. I don't think a sweep's going to happen. I'll be shocked. But again, I think 1 out of 3. And but I hope the Angels, channel the inner James Brown. They need some revenge, need some payback, need some get back from the opening 4-game series, which was just, awful. I was there the first 2 games, and Saturday they got the win, but Sunday felt like a letdown. Instead of the split, you get you lose 3 out of 4, and you just don't want that to happen. You want to take 2 out of 3. You want that sweep. So, without Trout too, I'm guessing, and it'll be a tough task. So I'll say 1 out of 3.
I'm gonna buck the trend here. I'm gonna go 2 out of 3. I'm gonna channel my rally, Chris.
Oh, okay.
I think I actually think they're gonna win one without Trout, and then they're gonna lose the Valdez one with Trout, and then the Ohtani one he'll probably play to a no decision, and someone will have like a huge mistake by Houston to allow a big inning, or we'll get some big time home run in the clutch. So I'm hoping for a 2 out of 3. Let's go Angels.
That's where Ryan Presley. That's where I hope that they get to their bullpen without him. That's the only way that I see 2 out of 3.
Well, it would be quite the accomplishment, don't you think? If they can get 2 out of 3,
especially with what happened in the opening series and what's been happening the last 5 and 6, 7 years.
Yeah, I'm at a loss for words. What's wrong with you happy-go-lucky people? Where's the trauma and the depression when we go to Houston? I want that. I want those fans. We all need to band together.
Well, I'm telling you, Courtney, we had so much of this last year. You were there, time in, time out, where we tried to be focused, and there was nothing to be focused or cool about because it just seemed like everything was always going wrong for the Angels. We had every time we'd be like, "Oh, this guy's coming off the IL," like 3 others would go down. So I'm trying to be as optimistic because us all on this page, we're all very pessimistic about this team. We have that defeatist attitude, like, okay, how much are we going to lose by tonight? And then when they win, we're all excited, like shocked. So I think, hopefully this continues to be something that's going to make us feel happy and not be such a downer because the last few years have been really hard to watch.
Ass.
Exactly. See, and it's good. You know what? It's going to take a lot. I hope you Angels are listening. It's going to take a lot for you guys to persuade Courtney. So you kind of got me a little bit. James is coming around. But Courtney, you need a lot more persuasion. You need to cater to her a little more.
Yes, you do. I need send it my way. Exactly. I need persuasions, bargains. I don't care what you have.
Giveaways. Yeah.
Need your blood, sweat, and tears.
There you go. You need to show her something, Angels.
Exactly.
Damn it.
Not impressed.
Well, with that being said, real quick, I want to touch on what do you guys think coming up here? The remainder of the month goes as this. I'm just going to skim through the games real quick. You got 3-game series with Baltimore, a 4-game series with Ohio, and then you go on the road to Chicago and Boston, which I think is the hardest set back-to-back that we're going to face for a while because after that you got, I'm just going to go through May real quick. You got the Nationals who stink, Tampa Bay who's always good, so there's 3 right there, but then you got Oakland who's been purged, you got Texas again, Oakland again, Texas again, and then the Blue Jays. Do you guys think I know I'm thinking way ahead, but can we be close to maybe double digits over 500 by the end of May?
Fuck no. What are you talking about?
I'm channeling my Roger Lodge right now. I'm trying to think positive and thinking that we're going to win every game 152-0.
If you don't shut the hell up,
Yeah.
what What are you talking about? No, I just said it, Todd. There's too many options. There's too many options to play with. We got Duffy running around playing God knows where. We got Velasquez and Wade sliding off of bases because they don't know how to grip. And Captain Jack is down the shitter. No. Rendon. I remember, oh my God, I remember when spring training started and they said, oh, Rendon's health is up and down. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Up and down? Up and down with your health? What do you mean? And I think he went like over 3 in that game. And then me and my mom were like, this must be a down day.
I guess so, right?
No, just no. I'm not saying we're going to suck. We just might suck less than we do right now. Okay. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't know if we're going to go 500. We'll probably be 2 games below that. But no, you're putting too much hope and faith in this team. I don't know what happened to you pansies while I was gone. I don't know what happened to everybody while I was gone, but no, I don't like this right now.
You see what happens when the voice of reason on this page is gone just for a little bit? We become Halo hunks. I'm gonna order my shirt, Halo hunk.
Pansies. You pansies. That's what everybody turned into.
Oh yeah, sitting in the 600s with my Halo hunk shirt on. Go Angels! 50 games above 500. What?
The day I become a Halo honk is the day that I die. At any rate, yeah, I think 1 out of 3 against Houston, 2 out of 3 against Baltimore, a split with Cleveland, and then probably I would say we get swept by the White Sox. That's a 4-game series, a swing around series, by the way, Friday through Monday. Swept by Boston.
What?
2 out of 3 against Washington unless Nelson Cruz goes off. Swept by Tampa. Split against Oakland. Split, or what is this? 2 out of 3 against Texas. 2 out of 3 against Oakland, and then probably Texas for a 2-game series, split that. And then most likely lose 3 out of 4 to Toronto.
Wow.
And then the Yankees come in May 31st. So I have no optimism, and I hope it's a jinx that doesn't happen, what I mentioned. But
we need to save this clip. We need to save this podcast and remember what James said. Because I didn't even say any records. I just said we might be below 2.
That's a tough damn road trip. Going Chicago and Boston, cold weather cities and good teams.
I think you just put us 5 or 6 games under 500.
I know.
Realistically, it's like,
because I look at that Boston Chicago one. I'm like, dude, if we can take 3 out of 7, I think we're okay. Because I mean, those are tough games. But we do any worse than like we're 2-5, 1-6. God forbid 0-7. That's terrible.
I want to come on here next time and be like, told y'all. Sadly. And then look, Oakland's not doing too bad with, their Salvation Army team, whatever they have left. They're doing pretty well. I'm really shocked, and they're getting contributions from people we don't know. We'll know them next month. It's odd we don't play them until May, but that's what the lockout did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I'm trying to be optimistic, as you know. I mean, I don't want to go into full I'm pissed off mode till I really have to be, and until they give me reason. Like I've rode Joe Madden a few times on here, just railing him about his decisions. But that's what I've been, the worst I've been able to say. Besides, it's mostly him that I'm on, but I don't want to get on the entire team unless I have to. So I'm holding out hope that we could still raise W's and stay above 500, especially after April. Because if you've looked at our schedule beyond that, which we'll get into on another show, June and July are going to be a bitch. I mean, there is some difficult games in those 2 months.
You want to hear my win and loss for that one?
No, we do not.
Want me to do it again?
No.
It's fun.
Fuck up, James. No. We don't want to hear it. Okay, let's get through the end of this month. How about that?
Let's wing it.
God,
Keep drinking that water, James.
is
You
it
need to-
water in there?
You need to
Oh
flush
yeah,
out.
vodka.
You got to flush out the toxins from the day today, man.
Jesus.
Don't you know that I'm toxic?
Oh no.
You know, he did that to me the other day on a podcast, and Fernando told me that was like one of the funniest things that he had done. What was the saying that you did about the burger? Remember you did that?
Tell me why.
Yeah, because
That was for the Big A burger, by the way. You could get at the Big A. I think in 2 sections you could find it. Look online for that, Angel fans.
because it was completely random. He was like, "Hey, so try the burger. Give me your reasoning behind like how good it is." And then I said, "Oh, it's like because he says 5 being the best," and I said, "What's a 6 out of, it's 6 out of 6, and it's higher than a 5. It's that good. I think it's really good." And then instead of saying, "Well, tell me why that is," he used the whole NSYNC song reference. He's all, Backstreet's all, "Tell me why."
I don't know.
But it was funny. It was in the moment. It was, out of nowhere. So
I'm in a dark place. Good night,
I
folks.
thought you were about to say you're in a dark room. Like, I don't know what you were
I
expecting.
can make that happen right now.
No. Oh, okay. This is going off the rails
oh,
here.
there you go.
Let's end the show like this.
You should have. It would have been more. You look like a ghost hunter right now,
It would have been creepy.
right?
I'm a creep.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
not okay.
More song references. Well, let's end this show. Any final thoughts, real quick, before we get out of here? Anything else not song related?
Take 2 out of 3, please.
Take 2 out of 3 with Houston. I don't know. I still have the 66er ball from last season.
Hey.
Oh, Jesus. It was signed with a couple of players from last season. So I don't know how we're gonna do this. I've kept it safe and sound this whole time. So
Okay.
there's that.
We'll have to have an auction or something like that, or some kind of giveaway. But that's cool.
Yeah. And then let me see. Oh, I added my Braves banner.
That's what I was gonna say. What is that back there? Yeah.
Braves banner. So I have my Angels one, and I have the Braves, the championship banner. And I think it's really fucked up how they just like axed Freddie Freeman after he spent 15 years on that fucking team, wasting his life and soul. And now all of a sudden they look at Matt Olson as if he's some savior. And I'm like, wow, that's really fucked up. So, but yeah, so that's my championship Braves banner right there.
The question is that a troll towards Nick?
Yes, it
All
is.
right, thank you, my girl. I love it.
I always like to cause dissension.
I love it.
I do too.
So yeah, I'm done now.
Okay. How about you, James?
Simple mission, but it's not really simple in Houston. Win 2 out of 3, come home and do well against lowly Baltimore. Hopefully win 3 out of 4 against Cleveland, and go on the road and try to be positive. Let's just say that. But need some get back for the opening series for sure.
Absolutely, I agree. Well, that being said, you've been listening to Halos in the Infield on the Halos Baseball Network here, Halos in the Infield Baseball Network. Please like and subscribe to the podcast and all our endeavors on the website. Check it out for all the content. And like I said, if you leave a 5-star review, it's kind of cool. Leave your handle, whatever social media you're on, and we'll get you back something nice for spending the time to do that. So with all that being said, again, if you like Courtney, please beg her to come back because we sure do miss her, and we want her to be regular again. And even though she's a manager right now, we got to pry her away from her responsibilities. Because who needs responsibilities when you have a podcast?
Exactly. I'll just throw away my life for this podcast. It's fine.
There you go. That's the spirit. And then James does the pregame shows, and he's an occasional contributor here on the podcast as well as live. So please check him out. Give him some love as well. So for Todd Fox, take care, people.
Good night, ball bags.
Nice.